You're listening to The Mark Cox Show. Follow the show on Facebook, facebook.com/The Mark Cox Show.
The FBI knows it. The people, the FBI, they know I think it's very embarrassing to them.
Donald Trump last night in part of his marathon race across the country yesterday. Right now, we're joined by Catherine Herridge from the Fox News Channel. Catherine, how are you?
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, a week ago, we were talking about this surprise Comey announcement and the fact that there's no way they could get through all of these emails in the time left before the election, and lo and behold, they did.
Here we are, right?
Yes.
Midday on Sunday, he sent a letter to Congress. What caught my attention in the letter is that it certainly appears from his language that the scope of the search was very narrow. He says emails to and from Hillary Clinton. So that excludes emails which would have only included her aide Huma Abedin and some of her other associates, Jake Sullivan and Cheryl Mills. And we know from our ongoing reporting that they were largely responsible for sending classified information out to her on that server. So it appears the scope was very narrow and that they felt that this didn't change the FBI's position. Now, remember, I've seen a lot of reporting today that they cleared her. That's not what happened on Sunday. He said they're in the same place they were in July, which was there was the mishandling of classified information, but they did not find intent to do it in a criminal matter, which is why he felt, his words, no reasonable prosecutor would pursue the case.
So there could have been some classified information in there.
I think there's no question that there was classified information on the computer, but it doesn't change the picture, which is, I mean, I don't mean to be sort of flip in the description, but
Sure.
The finding in July is that it's like classified information on the loose. I mean, there was a lot of spillage of this information, but he said that he didn't feel that there was intent to do that and that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. And it was that language that really put the FBI director in the crosshairs because he had stepped outside of his lane from being the chief investigator to the prosecutor in this case, which would have been Attorney General Lynch, who, as you know, sorry for the long-winded answer, had pulled herself out of the decision-making because of her tarmac meeting with Bill Clinton 1 week before Hillary Clinton was interviewed by the FBI. So this is not, I don't want to say it's like an exoneration. It simply means the facts are the same. This is another example, and your listeners who have worked in the national security space will know this is another example of spillage onto the computer, in this case Anthony Weiner, who of course would have no reason to have access to this information and would not have the clearance if there was anything highly classified on that computer.
Sure. So I guess what they didn't address was whether or not Huma Abedin violated any laws by forwarding this to her personal email. Of this information.
We did see emails in the original investigation which were forwarded to the account. And Huma Abedin says in her interview with the FBI that she routinely sent these documents to her Yahoo account, print them. What kind of really is so irritating to people who, especially people who work in our services who have clearances, is that you just, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
You can't send documents out to a personal account to print them. And based on our reporting in the FBI interviews, the agents were also told that the secure facilities that were built inside Hillary Clinton's home here in Washington and also in Chappaqua, New York, they had these what they call SCIFs. These are almost like walk-in vaults where you have access to classified information. They're almost like an old-fashioned safe or vault in a bank. It has like a big spinning dial, and you have to know the combination to get in, and you have a box on the right-hand side where you leave all your devices because you can't take anything in. But the FBI was told in the interviews that the SCIF, or the secure facility, was routinely not secure. The door was open, and there were computers in the SCIF that were personal laptops, and that's a problem too. I just don't know what to say. I mean,
right.
It's only the FBI 302s, but it was the FBI's director's decision in the end not to prosecute because he felt it was extremely careless and not criminal.
Catherine, I know time's limited. If you'll indulge me here, one last question. Don't we know that there's still an ongoing investigation into the Clinton Foundation?
Based on my reporting, there has been an ongoing investigation that's been run. I would describe it almost in sort of a, not below the radar, but in sort of a background way by agents in about 4 different offices. but they have not, in the view of the Justice Department, provided sufficient evidence to warrant sort of stepping it up a notch and getting access to the type of investigative tools that you would typically see in these cases. But I don't know where that goes. I can't tell you. Certainly, your listeners can look at WikiLeaks and they can decide for themselves whether they think there really is evidence of pay-to-play and special favors for donors or not. I mean, they can see that for themselves.
Catherine Herridge, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a great day. I had to. She had another interview she had to do, so my time with her was a little limited. But there you have it. She kind of cleared that up. That despite what the Clinton folks are saying, she was not cleared. They did not clear her. That's not what Comey said. He didn't say she's cleared. He just said he didn't find anything other than what he had in July, at which point he said that they had done a lot of bad things, just didn't think there was any intent there. So that is important, don't you think?